Hello, everybody. Welcome to season 2 of Riceball Conflict, anime and manga podcast where we kind of stay away from recency bias. I am your host, Cyan Kincaid, and with me today I have a first guest of the season, Vagabond.
Hello. Hey.
It's fine. But yeah, so we're gonna be kind of chatting about a little bit of anime of your taste. I get to learn a bit about you and what you watch because like we have mutual friends and we've seen each other around in multiple people's streams, but I don't think we've ever actually like legit sat down and talked anime. So,
Nope.
um, first off, where did you start off with anime? Like, because I know I started out in the Toonami era and a little bit before that, but where did your introduction to anime start?
My earliest memory of anime would be Pokemon.
You.
I was a little kid. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Digimon were the big three, and also Beyblade.
Of course, Blade.
Yeah.
Well, you got
Beyblade.
three of the four, like three good ones and one subpar one at least. But
I wonder what the subpart one is.
listen, you have in-depth story with Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and you have whatever the fuck Beyblade was, but Pokemon Pokemon only recently hit its actual plot point, like what, 2 years ago?
Yep.
Like, kind of
Our
rough.
homeboy Ash finally did it.
Yeah.
Well, he took God knows how many years. That man is not 10 years old.
Oh my god. You know, I was actually, and this is slightly off topic, but I was doing some quizzes on stream, some Sporkle stuff, and we were going through and like trying to guess all the stuff that aired on Toonami in the like early 2000s stuff, and it's just typing things in as we remembered it. And I
Hmm.
remembered that there was a Pokemon series that aired on Toonami, but it wasn't the OG Pokemon series. Everyone in my chat was so confused on what the fuck I was talking about. Because it's the only Pokemon series where I do remember seeing like an episode of it. I just remember it wasn't Ash, and everyone was convinced that it was Pokemon Origins, but this was like 2001. That was Pokemon Chronicles. Did you ever watch that one?
I don't think I remember to recognize the name. I do know there was a Pokemon series. I don't think it was a series. It was like one episode where it
Mm,
followed Gold and his Typhlosion, and that's really all I remember.
you just said it. I don't know what a Typhlosion is. Let me be honest. I don't remember a lot of it. I know it was like second gen, because it was around
Hmm.
that time, and but I don't remember who the main character or anything was. But that was like the only Pokemon thing I remember, and I forgot that I had watched any of it until we were talking about it yesterday. So I was like, that is my experience with Pokemon. Prior to 2019, where I was forced to sit down and watch the Pokemon movie. But otherwise, yeah, I've never been like into it. So you watched the 4 Kids era then, if you were Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. Was like OG Yu-Gi-Oh, or was it like Yu-Gi-Oh GX?
No, it was OG Yu-Gi-Oh, the very
Okay.
first one.
Okay.
I always watched GX though, but yeah.
Did you get to the part to the motorcycle one? The 5Ds?
5Ds, yeah.
I
Like
fucking loved 5Ds. I know a lot of
5Ds
people
was great.
yeah, people clowned on it so hard, and I fucking like the characters and the story of it were really fucking good. Them playing card games on motorcycles, yeah, kind of stupid. But the card
Hmm.
designs and the actual like characters were really fucking fun. Like,
And they actually had depth, which was crazy.
yeah, it was actually. I feel like it's the first one that had like a more legitimate romance to it, and this might just be me looking more into it because like Yusei and uh the pink haired girl or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
I think that was actually written up as being canon, whereas like Yugi had his thing with Taya that was more speculative. It was I don't know if it was ever classified as canon, and
mhm.
Jaden and Uh, whoever the chick was, I
It
forget.
was the one obelisk girl.
Yeah, the one that was really stuck up at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I don't.
forget her name.
Least favorite character in that entire series, but yeah, I don't know if that was ever like flushed out because I dropped GX. I never finished it. I eventually uh stopped it during about when the dub ended, I guess, because they never fully dubbed it. I think.
They did not. That's also around when I stopped,
Yeah.
which I'm glad because there are some crazy things that happen in the sub later on. I'm just like, wow, this looks really dumb.
I they introduced freaking shot collars and like death duels, and I was like, it's a little too edgy for me.
Yeah,
It,
they went a bit too crazy.
uh, it's fun to kind of think about, like, damn, they went dark with it, but like also, you already had your edge lord big brother character that was kind of the antagonist. You don't really need to drag it out that far. Let's see what else. Beyblade, which you're currently rewatching with one of your buddies, Zeus. How far have y'all gotten in that?
We have only watched the first episode.
Oh,
It was okay. Look, it was mainly a joke of me putting it on and watching it,
mm-hmm.
and then it was just a funny like, oh, that was hilarious. And then we watched the second episode, and I was like, oh my god, this is really dumb. But like, I'm interested. I'm invested. I want to see more because I just want to relive that.
Uh, Honestly, it's worth it. I have rewatched Beyblade. Granted, this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I got all the way through to the third season, I believe, of the OG series.
Hmm.
And going back and rewatching it and kind of seeing it with like the adult lens of like, damn, there's nostalgia here, but I can recognize this was kind of stupid as shit. Damn. I really sat down and got excited for this every day after school. Really? My attention span was non existing.
Yeah,
Uh,
when you showed me that first those first episodes where Ty was like, yeah, I'm just gonna put two rippers on my thing to make my baby go faster. I was like, oh, this is just
okay,
he's delusional.
to be fair, the first season, from what I remember, is the worst. Second season is freaking fire. I don't know what it is about that first season, but that first season is rough. But that second season, like, I was hard into it, and then I like binged watch all the way through season 2 and season 3. But we're having like a similar thing with the whole Digimon conflict thing, and we're going through OG Digimon, and granted, we have one person on there that's never watched Digimon before, but for the three of us that have, we're like,
Hmm.
damn, this stuff happened so fast. Um, like the Wizardmon death, we just recently got to that because we just finished
Oh
the whole
yeah.
Myotismon fight, and the Wizardmon death to the Angelwoman evolution to Myotismon getting destroyed. That's two
Hmm.
episodes.
It's two episodes.
That's two episodes.
Jesus.
Yeah, like Wizardmon dies, Angelwoman evolves, then she kills Myotismon, but then the fog doesn't disappear, and then the next episode he comes back to life as Mallow Myotismon, and they fight him again, and he's dead. That's it.
Wow.
Like, it goes by so much faster. It feels intimidating because it's 54 episodes, but
Hmm.
it's so much cram packed into it, and we're just sitting here like, damn, I forgot that happened. But at the same time, all this shit happened at the same time, and I feel like this was like, granted, we were watching it daily or weekly, depending on at what point it was airing. But Edamon only being like 5 episodes long, kind of crazy. I thought
That's
Edamon lasted
wild.
a lot longer.
Oh man, that kind of makes sense though, because I remember the Digimon's pretty short. Honestly, when you think about it,
It's not. It's 104 episodes altogether.
like compared to other like long running shows, that's not that long.
Compared to other long running shows, yes, but we don't have a lot of long running shows in anime because, like, a lot of stuff generally tends to end at 12 episodes these days.
True.
Like a long-running series nowadays is it's 24 episodes. It has 2 seasons. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
We're back in the day. We're like 50 episodes. This is normal.
That's actually so true.
Yeah.
It's so tragic too. I miss that.
I do too. Like a lot. I think a lot of the anime on my top 50 are all 50 episode plus. I don't think I have many. I don't think I have any 12 episode animes on my top 50. Now think about it.
If I really thought about it, I could probably like name one, but
Yeah, I'm thinking
uh,
about it, and I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but I know my top 10 are all at least like. I think the shortest one might be Outlaw Star, which is still I think 26 episodes.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's odd to see how like shorter people's attention spans have gotten for series, because I guess we do have My Hero, JJK, Demon Slayer that are ongoing, and
Yeah, those are just like mainstream stuff though. They just make money, so they're like, all right, more episodes.
yeah, I mean, and then we got the ending of Attack on Titan finally, but even that wasn't that long. It just had a lot of breaks in between, so because that's only
Which is really tragic.
it was such a good ending though.
It was a great ending. I'm glad they stayed true to the source material and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they sped it up a bit.
Yeah. I think it was well paced aside from what was it, the third season that was a little slow and that felt a little jarring. But I think taking the time for at least those last 2 movies was worth it because oh my god, they're gorgeous. I would have loved to see
Yeah.
those in theaters.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it's an odd concept of like seeing things end now too because like we've seen the ending of essentially the ending of Naruto. Naruto is technically still ongoing with Boruto, but
Nah.
it's ended. Bleach is on its final arc finally. Attack on Titan ended. Something else ended recently. What else ended recently? Um, Something big did. I
Something
had
big
it
does.
when I started it, and then I got sidetracked. I don't remember. Um, and then one day we'll see the end of One Piece.
Final saga.
Yeah. I'm actually like kind of hyped for it though, because One Piece was the first of the big three I got into. So I'm kind of
For me,
excited
it
to see
was
Coco's.
Naruto.
Uh Order your big three in favorite to least.
Now, this will surprise you, but it is One Piece, Naruto, then like I shouldn't even say Bleach. 'Cause I don't know. I never cared for Bleach, TBH.
I respect it. I respect it because like I'm the same way. Um I had recently gotten into like a little bit of an argument on Twitter of all things,
Mm-hmm.
because some prominent anime YouTubers had said something about like, oh yeah, how uh, Bleach was always like superior and everything, and like it was the biggest one out of the three, and I'm like, it was never that to me because one, well, Bleach started after Naruto and One Piece had. Like I said, I got into One Piece first, and then I got into Naruto, and I was big into Naruto, and all my friends were into Naruto. And when I got into high school, we met the first couple people that were into Bleach. And it was the hard sell. It was like, they were like, oh yeah, Bleach is so good. You need to watch it. And we would watch a couple episodes and like, this is boring. And they're like, no, you gotta get like 20 episodes in. You gotta wait till they get to the Soul Society, then it gets good. And that was the first time I had ever experienced that. Like, that's a common thing to say now. A lot of people are like,
Yeah.
yeah, One Piece doesn't get good until you get to the Baratie. They're lying, but that's what they'll say. Same with Naruto. They'll say it doesn't get good until Chunin exams. Fucking lie. It's great as soon as you hit Zabuza arc.
Yep.
But Bleach was the hard sell, and it got really popular when you got to your older teens because it was the more mature of the three. But
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like Naruto had the bigger fan base. Like, Naruto was the meme. The Naruto headbands and the running and doing the hand signs in high school, and being cringe.
Yeah, I
Like,
actually had this talk earlier with some people about what they thought was the most like well known of the big three.
mm-hmm.
What was the most popular? People kept saying like Naruto, Bleach, Naruto, Bleach. I was like, wow, like I understand the Naruto thing, but it's like One Piece now is getting up there.
One Piece
Like,
has been up there. One Piece has been probably the number one of the big three since Naruto ended, since Shippuden ended at least. Because
mm-hmm,
Bleach wasn't airing at the time, and Bleach even coming back with 1,000 Year Blood War, like there's a dedicated following that is watching it,
yeah.
but I don't ever hear about it. Like the only people I hear about it are the people that I know are super into Bleach. Um, I I listen to a lot of different other anime podcasts, and I've listened to a lot of other AniTubers that do anime content, and almost none of them are talking about Bleach. And when they do, it's kind of just in passing. But all of them are talking about One Piece at one point in time. Like, it gets brought up at least at some point on somebody's platform. Boruto, I hear about it occasionally, but it's typically only from select people because Boruto is getting clowned on pretty hard, which is unfortunate. So
I have not watched it or read it. I don't know how I feel about it. I was pretty content with Naruto ending, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then they
mm-hmm.
brought Boruto. I was like, oh, I don't want this.
I wasn't initially gonna watch it because it was like I was the same way. I was like, Shippuden had a decent ending. I don't really care to watch Boruto, and all I kept hearing was like bad things. And then like I saw a screenshot, or like a not a screenshot, but a scene of Choji's daughter, and
Hmm.
it was so fucking adorable that I'm like, you know what? I'll watch it just so I can get my nostalgia out it. And I've been enjoying it. Like they say the manga's better than the anime is, and whatever. I'm not having a problem watching the anime. I'm not the type to go read a manga, especially if there's an anime version of it. You can have whatever your opinion is, but so far the story has been really good, and I'm like 200 episodes into it at this point. So I wasn't expecting to actually enjoy it, and nor was I expecting to get in as engrossed. I was just watching it purely because I want to see the children of my loved characters, and that is it. So, and
Yeah, I can respect that.
it's worked out. Like, I I think it's fun that because it's already like a fully established world and everything. You don't have to have any kind of world building. It's more just kind of adding on top of it, seeing how a society progresses in a time of peace now, because Naruto has now established a land of peace where there is no
Hmm.
more war and no more like fighting between the lands and stuff, which is really cool. And then of course you still have some infighting between other factions and stuff that's affecting things. I love that kind of shit. I like to see how things have progressed in a way.
I
And,
usually like that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. It was just the way Boruto and all the other kids acted. Is like they
That's
seem
fair.
so boring.
It's it's very different. I will say that because I think a lot of the people that say they don't like Boruto as a character that have at least seen a couple scenes of it, and I'm not saying that you're doing this at all, but a lot of the problem is that like the well he's kind of selfish and he's kind of like a crybaby and everything. And like well he's living in a time of peace where he's getting everything he wants. He has the kind of the opposite of what Naruto had. Naruto didn't have a family, so he like acted out and he was trying to become stronger. Boruto essentially at the beginning doesn't have a reason to become stronger. He's
Hmm.
the Hokage's son. He's essentially Konohamaru, which Konohamaru at the beginning of the series was like noxious as hell. He just kind of wants to act out so he can get attention on himself that isn't just keeping him in the shadow of his father kind of thing. Like that's his entire thing. It's not like he wants to get the shortcuts around because he doesn't really find a drive to fight. The fun of his character development is that you get to watch him find that reason to fight and get stronger in himself instead of like it already being there at the beginning of the series, which I'll admit, isn't for everybody. Some people aren't going to enjoy that, but I've been enjoying that because it's like a nice refresher, I guess, of the stereotypical, like, we're introduced to this character and he's going to explain to us why he wants to become stronger, and then we're done. We actually kind of get to see that progress, which I appreciate in a way.
Yeah, it's nice to see because you don't see that very often now.
No, it's not really the like typical shonen way to go. So it's like, even I think all the big three, all the characters are introduced. Well, yeah, I guess first episode kind of establishes Ichigo's reason to fight very quickly. He doesn't immediately have one at the very start, but he gets it in the first episode. Naruto and of course One Piece, and then DBZ as well. Like, DBZ, Goku's reason to become stronger is just he wants to become stronger. Like,
Yeah,
that's just the plot of DBZ at this point.
sadly. Sadly.
Have you watched Super?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
far?
All of it,
Oh
sadly.
no.
Like, and God, like some of the stuff is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I like the slice of life moments too between Vegeta and Bulma, Goku and his sons, and all that stuff. But like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many moments where it's like, wow, this is just really. I don't get why they did this.
Yeah.
Why is Gohan learning the same lessons over and over again that he learned in past series? Like,
Right. I've enjoyed the movies more in Super than I enjoyed, like, because I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. I enjoyed the movies back then, but I've enjoyed the Super movies. The superhero movie was really fucking good. The new Broly movie was, I don't know if I prefer old Broly or new Broly. Actually, it's kind of tie on that one. But like, the movies have been really good. But I
I
watched
agree.
Super up until we're in the middle of the Tournament of Power, I think. The big god tournament between all the alternate universes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Last episode I watched, Goku awoke his newest form of instinct.
Ultra
Or,
Instinct.
yeah, that. I was like, cool, new hair color just dropped.
Yeah.
I was kind of
Like
over it.
that's cool and all. It's like, wow, yeah, awesome. His limit, he hasn't hit his upper limit, but it's like, man, I wish other characters could shine too. They're just
Yeah.
not Goku.
What's your take on GT?
Uh, GT is something I wish they did differently. It wasn't terrible,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish they changed it. I think them deciding to go with just, hey, Pan and Goku are gonna go alone into space to get the Dragon Balls was really, really dumb. I think it would have been nice if Gohan went to, not just so he can like speed up the show or anything like that, but so he can like actually do something
Fair.
and like show that he actually kept growing
Mm-hmm.
instead of later on baby comes and he just the first person he possesses is Gohan. It's like, all right, well, once again, Gohan has done nothing to contribute to the Z Fighters. It's like, okay.
Right. That's fair. I I stand by the opinion that I prefer GT over Super still. And this is coming
Hmm.
from somebody that hasn't finished Super, so I don't know how Super ends to compare that completely. But I enjoyed that it did focus a bit more on Pan and Trunks and like the next generation that we didn't get before. I do agree, not to bring it up, but like if they would have had Gohan in there instead, I think that would have been a lot better.
I
Um,
forgot Trunks was there.
you forgot about my boy. Hold on, hold
Listen, I love Trunks. I think he can be a great character.
on.
They just done nothing with the boy.
I mean, they did better with him in GT than they did with him in Super, where they made him the love interest of a 50-year-old woman.
Hmm.
So we'll say that. But like, yeah, I like that they kind of focused more on a new generation, because like there's a point where like Goku has just hit the ceiling of power caps, and Super is just him creating new ceilings, which is kind of redundant at this point. Like, I would like to
Yeah.
see now Gohan hit the same ceilings that his father did, and see Pan and Trunks hit further ceilings themselves and get where they need to go in power. But also, my biggest love for GT is the Super Saiyan form. Because it's so cool. It was such a fun concept that instead of just changing hair color, they fully harnessed something that was already established for the Super Saiyans from all the way from Dragon Ball of the Great Ape and harnessing that power into like their Super Saiyan form. Like whether you like the design or not, still the concept of like that's where that power comes from is cool. I love the design altogether, but I know some
No,
people don't like the
I
furry man.
agree.
So
I actually agree. SSJ4 is amazing, just design wise and concept wise.
yeah.
I want it to be canon. I need it to be canon at this point.
Yeah, and then we get pink, blue, and silver hair now though. That's the cool stuff to do.
Goku Rose is awesome. Not Goku. Super Saiyan Rose is amazing.
It is. I did like Zamasu as a villain. That was his name, right?
I'm indifferent about
Yeah.
Zamasu.
I enjoyed him to a degree. Um, I feel like it was kind of a rehash of just trying to build up the nostalgia of the Cell Saga all over again with the time travel thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like a little bit of a cop out. Um, Tournament of Power so far, like I was enjoying it mostly because they brought 17 back. I was
Oh
like,
yes.
I love the Android saga. That was one of my favorite sagas in all of DBZ. And we kind of never hear what happens to 18's brother after they're both brought back because it was wished to make them all like that. It wasn't just for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just never spoken of again. So getting to kind of see that fulfilled was nice. I don't like how they made Goku dumb, like more so than normal. And I don't like that they keep clowning on my boy Yamcha.
Yamcha's whatever. But Goku being dumb is just so I don't know why they did it to him.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be a martial arts genius, and then it's like, oh, I didn't know that. It's like just you've done it before, Goku.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
please.
it's not necessary because like he wasn't always the brightest, but he wasn't stupid. He
Not to
had
this extent.
yeah. I don't know why they nerfed him so badly in the brain. Like I don't. And as far as the Yamcha thing, like he's always been kind of a background character, but they didn't really have to make an entire episode just to clown on him where he wanted to be involved in the tournament of power and he thought he was going to get invited and then they end up inviting Frieza of all people instead and he's just like damn, I'm just left out. Like they really did not have to do that episode. They did not have to do him that fucking dirty. That's so fucked up.
It was very fucked up, but also very funny.
But I felt so bad for him. I'm like, I've never cared for this character that much, but now I feel bad for him, and now he's one of my favorite characters. Thanks. I hate it.
Like, well, Yamcha was cool for a bit, but then once he lost Bulma, I was like, ah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's so over.
I just, I like the contrast of because you need to have that layer there of here are the Super Saiyans and here's their level of power, and then you still have normal humans on this planet that
Mm-hmm.
are really good fighters that are still better than Mr. Satan. Like
That's important.
and they're essentially regulating all that onto Krillin now instead of having multiples because Tien Shinhan's no longer really relevant either, and Yamcha got back pushed out the back door essentially. So like Master Roshi's old at this point, so he's not really doing anything. So it's like they're pushing all this like here's the strongest human on this planet onto Krillin when you can still have a group of Z fighters that are human, not quite to Goku's standards, but still the power ceiling for a normal human being.
Mm-hmm.
And to push really good, well developed characters out the back window and say, yeah, you got Krillin and you got Mr. Satan. Those are the strongest humans. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Shout out to my boy Master Roshi for that
Yeah.
Kamehameha. That was awesome.
Oh my god. Honestly, OG Dragon Ball and like the stuff that it established and the fact that it still crossed over into Dragon Ball Z, like I like that that carried over as well as it did because there, granted, Kamehameha was never used that much in Dragon Ball Z. It was
Mm-hmm.
still like kind of iconic, I guess. Like I think he only uses it like 8 times in the entire series, if that. Yeah,
Probably.
I think only 8. Uh, but it's still just like that's the staple of Dragon Ball Z at that point. Like that was the thing you could mimic at a con, and people knew exactly what you're doing without even saying anything. You could mimic the motions for it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It was just the move everyone
Mm-hmm.
knew, and they still know it. It's just by
Oh
heart.
yeah, I remember early 2000s conventions. There were people that did that. There were the few Sailor Moon ones that would do the Sailor Moon poses, and then you had the Gundam people that were oh, what was it? This hand of mine glows with an awesome power. Its burning grip is telling me to defeat you. And if you started that, an entire room would start saying it with you, and it was kind of fun.
That
Very
is awesome.
cringy, but kind of fun. And you don't really have that anymore. I don't think. I don't. Last couple cons I've gone to, like, you don't really have that kind of community anymore.
That might just be COVID effect still.
I mean, I haven't really been to a con since COVID. Like, I've been to a couple, but not for like anime reasons. So this is still before COVID. And I'm
Mm.
speaking because I have since COVID, I've only really gone to like TwitchCon and Anime Expo, and both of those were either for streaming purposes or the podcast purposes. Not really like I went to enjoy myself, of course, but like I didn't go in cosplay, and I didn't go to go buy stuff, and I didn't go to like go to my normal con related stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
my yeah, last cons I went to like that were like 2019 before COVID, and it's still just not like that. It's just like you get people, they'll see somebody in a I don't know what's a My Hero character that isn't Deku, uh
Bakugo.
Bakugo, yeah. See somebody in a Bakugo cosplay, and then they all rush to him and like, oh my god, you like My Hero Academia? No shit, like everyone and their mom likes My Hero Academia that's here. Like, who would have thought? Most popular anime at the time. People like it. I'm being mean. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're not wrong. People like My Hero Academia.
They do. It's just like it's very much like an on my thing and my day thing, and it makes me feel old. But like when I was going to cons, you would see somebody in like a Black Butler cosplay or a Fushigi Yugi cosplay or something that was a little bit more niche, and that was when you would get excited because
Mm-hmm.
the popular things you would see 1,000 Narutos, you would see headbands everywhere, you would see the Ichigo mask, you would see like the straw hat, you would see those around the cons, and you're like, well, those are the big three. Everyone likes the big three. Everyone knows what they are. It's not like not really a surprise to go into an entire building filled with 5,000 weebs, and most of them like Naruto. It's just gonna happen.
Of
But
course.
to go into a room of 1,000 weebs and they like something that's a little more niche or something that's like not mainstream, not popular, that would be something that you got excited for. And I'm not shitting on people that get excited. You can get excited for whatever. It's just it's a difference in how the community is now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which hurts because I like a lot of niche stuff. I like a lot of popular stuff too, but I like a lot of niche stuff.
I feel you. I have a large library of anime I've watched. I'm like, man, it'd be nice if I could talk about a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it's like, oh, no one's ever seen this, so it's like, there's no point.
I like to like my favorite topic is generally Toonami because like I grew up on Toonami, but anytime I bring up Toonami, it's people want to talk about Dragon Ball or they want to talk about Cowboy Bebop. One, Cowboy Bebop didn't air on Toonami. Shut the fuck up. Two, there are so many things that aired on Toonami that were fucking great. Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, Zatch Bell, Robotech was on there, Gigantor was on there, like Outlaw Star was on there. And then I bring up those names and like, I've never heard of that. Like, damn, okay. I go back to my corner. I'm sorry.
I mean, the one I knew was Tenshi Mushi and Zatch Bell. Those are the main two I really liked
Yeah.
watching.
Zatch Bell was crazy. Zatch Bell was one I had to revisit after a while because I learned how much. Like, if you think there's censorship in 4Kids anime, you should see what they did to Fulgore and Zatch Bell.
Oh no.
I don't remember how old I was when I realized that him singing about wanting to dance all day was him actually talking about groping women. But that changed a lot. And then they also right when they stopped dubbing, and I fully believe they stopped dubbing this anime because they reached this character and they looked to the dude who came up with the Fulgore idea for the Dance All Day song, and he's like, I have no idea how to fix this. And they said, yep, we're not doing this dub anymore. Because there's a character, and I don't know if you got this far, called Big Boing.
Oh, sounds familiar.
She works with like a magician guy that has one of the Mamotos. And she just has giant tits. And she sings a song called Boing Boing where she dances shaking her boobs in front of everybody. And she has a special attack called I think it's literally called Big Boing, where she just repeatedly bounces her chesticles in front of the enemy to distract them so that the magician and his Mamoto can go attack from behind.
Alright, I see now why they stopped dubbing. Alright, understood.
Yeah. Like, I watched that and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why. I'm pretty sure they just got there and they're like, yeah, we can't do this. This isn't working.
We can censor a lot of things, but that just can't be done.
How does one censor out an entire character?
That's so tragic.
Yeah, it was such
I
a
didn't
good
watch
show.
Zatch Bell.
Man, I want to rewatch it. I don't think I've finished it. I think I got just past her, but I also just don't know if they ever finished it. Because I know the manga's finished, but I don't know if the anime finished the manga, you know?
All I know is that the anime changed. Like they added their own arc to end the series.
Oh, okay. Did one of those.
Yeah, they did one of those things. So I want to watch that and then I want to read the manga. Because I also fun fact, Zatch Bell 2 is happening, the manga.
Excuse me?
Yep, he came back.
Oh. Man, I'm not a manga reader though.
I mean, if you are lucky, he'll make they'll help make an anime for it.
Maybe. They are like capitalizing on a lot of reboots and like nostalgia stuff and finishing off that stuff. So maybe. The Rurouni Kenshin remake has been phenomenal, and so is the Trigun one.
Oh, Rurouni Kenshin has been a lot of fun. Been watching that time to time with friends, and it's just been a great time.
It's so beautifully done. Like, I got to watch the premiere of the first episode at Anime Expo, and then I was so upset because I was like, shit, I have to wait for it to actually release now so I can actually watch it. And then it took them like half a year to announce the dub. So I'm like, shit. Well, I guess I'm waiting for the dub now because unpopular opinion, but I'll rather watch something in dub than subtitles if I can. So
that's fair. I'm used to sub, but just reading and watching doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either. It's just, if I had the option, I would rather just listen to the dub. Like, generally, if there is a dub of an anime, I'm gonna watch it. If there's multiple animes I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna prioritize the one that has the dub because it's just it's there. If I have to look away, I'm not missing anything really. If I don't have to pause it if I need to look at my phone for 2 seconds. I can
Yeah.
kind of divide my attention a little bit more if I need to. So,
Yeah,
and the
that's the
dub,
only thing I like about dub, really.
yeah, I've gotten really used to the voice acting of it. Again, because I got really used to subtitles for a long while, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Going back to the dubs, it's weird because the voices are different. Now it's gotten to the point where like I hear Japanese voice acting, and I'm like, oh, it sounds weird. I don't know if I can do it. I had to watch the finale of Attack on Titan in subtitle, and it felt so weird because Armin sounds like a 12-year-old girl, and I'm like, maybe I do wait for the dub for this. I didn't want to wait for the dub only because I didn't want to get spoiled on it since
Yeah.
Twitter's not exactly kind on that, but I tried. I powered through it. It was just Mikasa's voice and Armin's voice were very hard to get through, and they're like the main two speaking roles for that entire final movie.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to listening to the dub and hearing uh someone at least sound like a grown adult playing a character for a little bit. Not to hash on like Japanese VAs or anything. They do a great job. It's not my language. I'm not used to the voice overs, so it gets weird. Also another Toonami thing that was like you said Tenchi Muyo. Did you watch
Mm.
Tenchi Muyo or did you watch Tenchi Universe? Or do you
I
remember?
think it was Muyo.
Okay. Because I know the main difference between the two is whether he prioritizes Ryoko or Ayaka as a love interest. Basically, like
Mm-hmm.
the story changes a little bit and introductions and stuff. But like my thing was always Tenchi Universe because that's the one that prioritized Ryoko, who's inarguably best girl of the entire series. So
Oh, agreed.
the princess girl can go back to her planet. It's fine. That's another thing I haven't seen in a while. A Ryoki, the little rabbit cat ship thing that was obsessed with carrots.
uh,
I remember seeing those everywhere. That was like everyone's favorite animal mascot. Well, aside from Chopper, I guess.
aside from Chopper, aside from any Pokemon, any
Okay,
Digimon thing,
Pokemon and Digimon essentially still only have one mascot. It's Pikachu and Agumon. Like,
which is tragic that it's still Pikachu.
yeah, I agree. It's probably one of my least favorite designs, and that says a lot considering I don't like a lot of Pokemon designs. But yeah, Pikachu's not the coolest character. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
So,
He's pretty lame. He's just
mm-hmm.
a rat.
Yeah, after seeing
Agumon
him for
being a staple, I'm fine with that.
Agumon, at least got revamped a couple times, but also isn't still the staple because we had Guilmon be kind of a mascot for a long while. Like he really took over Agumon for a bit, and now we have oh god, I forgot the name of the little white dude from Ghost Game.
Oh, yeah, I watched a few episodes of that. I forget. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the newest generation, but like he's kind of like apparently popular with the younger people watching it because I would still remember Agumon just because that's what I grew up with. But I used to work at Walmart and we had a little Digimon section that came in, and apparently the Agumon stuff didn't sell, but the little white dude from Ghost Game did. So
That's crazy.
yep, because we had vital bracelets.
Mm.
There for a little while, and the only ones that did not sell were the Agumon ones. We had the Agumon, the Gabumon, and then we had the yellow one and another one. But yeah, Agumons were still on the shelf, and I think we had to mark them down.
No,
So
my boy.
Just shows how things change, I guess. Children these days, they don't understand.
That's just how it is. No one. If you're like born in 2000s, chances are you didn't watch OG Digimon.
I remember so my nephew. He was, oh my god. I mean, I guess he's out of no, he'd be out of high school now. I don't know. I think he's out of
Hmm.
high school now. But when he was younger, he had gotten into Digimon, and his introduction to Digimon was Data Squad of all things.
Oh.
And at the time, I hadn't watched Data Squad. I had watched, of course, I'd watched OG, Adventure, Frontier, and Tamers. But
Hmm.
I didn't know Data Squad was a thing, and Data Squad was airing on TV, and he was like telling me about Agumon and all this stuff, and how cool he thought things were, and he said Gaomon, and I'm like, what the fuck is Gaomon? What are you talking about? Uh, and then I sat down and watched it with him and stuff, and I was like, oh, new Digimon series drops. Um, Kind of cool, and I got into it with him for a little bit, but it was weird because it was just like watching a whole other generation get into Digimon, and like I think about it and compare. I'm like, when he got into Pokemon, it's still Ash and Pikachu. Not a lot would have changed. But when he got into Digimon, it's like whole new main character, but still Agumon. But it's like
Hmm.
different Agumon because Shine Greymon and Rise Greymon. So slightly different, but still like damn,
Yeah,
Pokemon just did not change for any generation.
I get you. My little brother's the same thing. I showed him Digimon,
Mm-hmm.
the first one. He liked it. I was like, all right, awesome. Left him alone. Next thing you know, he's watching Digimon Fusion. I'm like, what
Oh
is
my
this?
god.
What are you watching?
No. Fusion
Uh,
is the bastard child of Digimon. We don't acknowledge them. Actually, no. 2020 is now the bastard child of Digimon. That is taking that. Like they sit in their own little corner together. It's fine.
That's hilarious. Thankfully, he's watched more Digimon than me. Honestly, like he's seen every single series.
Oh my god. Damn.
That kid went crazy. But he watched like one series of Pokemon, and then from there he was like, oh, these are all the same, and then he stopped.
Mm, I mean, he's not wrong.
He is
Okay,
not wrong.
there's a lot of things you can kind of say that for though, because I've had friends that tried to get into Gundam and they're just like, they're all the same, and I'm like, no, not really. But then I say the same shit about romance series, so and
Hmm.
isekais. So people come at me and be like, yeah, this isekai is different. And I'm like, no, they're all the same. It's fine. They're all bad.
Nah, a large category. Isekais are the same. I'll say, as someone who watches isekais like quite often, there a lot of them are the same. You find the same exact story, the same kind of main character, the same kind of mindsets. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, I've watched like five, I think. I'm watching technically six now because I'm watching the first season of Sword Art Online and I'm hating my life. Um, it is quite atrocious, but yeah, I have never really enjoyed them, and I've always watched the ones that are like highly recommended. They're like, oh, this one's better than the other ones. This one's different. And I'm like, but it's not. It's the same. Like it's all well and good if you like it, but you can't come to me and say this is good. You can come to
Hmm.
me and say you like it. I'm gonna say I'm sorry you have no taste, but good on you. But I just I've tried. I've tried.
At least he tried. At least he didn't just shut it down.
I give everything at least a fair chance. Uh, I'm generally a pretty harsh critic. Uh, if I don't like something, but it also takes a lot for me to not like something. Uh,
Hmm.
I think there are only three anime in the world that I would actually classify as being actually bad. That I have watched, but there's just a lot of stuff that I think are just they're okay. They're fine. I didn't enjoy them, but they're fine. But I just I try not to hate too much. I just like to be antagonistic, I guess. It's fun. I like to
I
see how far I can push something.
I feel that. Sometimes you just have to, voice your opinion and
Mm-hmm.
people get upset.
Oh man,
It'd be like that.
it's so fun when they get upset though, especially when they get upset over something stupid.
Yeah,
uh, like just saying, My Hero Academia's mid, kind of fun.
that is a opinion.
It is essentially a fact at this point because I think even the My Hero fans agree with it.
I can't say much because I don't know. I think most of my hero fans are pretty brain dead.
Most My Hero fans are 12, so
Yeah, exactly. Point proven.
yeah, like a lot of the people that I think that are maybe our age, maybe a little younger, that watch My Hero, they're kind of just watching it because it's anime and because they're just like, I just want it to be over. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know of very many adults that are like, oh, I absolutely love this anime. It's the best anime of all time. Like, I don't I think I know one person that said that, but they're also an isekai fan, so like most of the things they watch is isekai, and I could see My Hero probably being better than that time I got reincarnated as a vending machine in a dungeon.
Oh no,
You know,
that's peak. How could you?
I don't even know if you're joking or not.
No, it's terrible.
I was
It's
like,
all
wait.
bad. Yeah, I don't know. I like my hero. I think it's good, but I won't. I would never say that's peak. I would never say it's the best thing
No.
ever. Not in a million years.
It's something that is so catered to me in theory because I love superhero stuff. People shit on
Hmm.
Marvel all the time. I fucking love Marvel. I've watched every Avengers movie. I have watched almost all the Avengers like individual movies. I even watched and own Captain Marvel. Not my favorite,
Yeah.
but I fucking love it. If it's X-Men, I fucking love it. Um so you give me an anime about superheroes and it's a long run in shonen, that's my shit.
Hmm.
uh how they managed to fumble the ball on something that is so up my alley, I have no clue. But they did it. And I was just like, I finally just full on dropped it during the last season, I think. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, no, I'm good. I value my time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Better to drop it as soon as you can than trying to hold on for something that you probably won't like.
Mm-hmm. And so here's a question. In the past few years, what's an anime that you think uh deserves more recognition than what it's gotten?
Deserves some more recognition than what it's gotten.
Yeah.
Like something new or old.
I mean, it could be either or. I was thinking something maybe like in the past like 5 years, but if you know something older as well, that works as
Think old. How old is this? I forget. But it's old enough. Beelzebub.
well. Okay, I've heard of that one. It's actually one I haven't watched. It's been on my plan to watch list for a while.
That series was so funny when I was watching as a kid, and it was just so dumb and ridiculous, but so cool too.
Mm. It's the one about the baby, right?
Yeah, the little green hair baby.
Yeah. I think that's the main reason I've avoided it for so long because I hate small children, and I'm like, you know, maybe one day, but I
Like
have.
he barely acts like a kid too. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, I know he's like the spawn of Satan or something like that. So
Hmm.
yeah. It sounds like a cool concept. I see the poster and I'm like, yeah, I have this thing. It's kind of like the opposite of baby fever, um, that and just kind of anything that involves small children. That's why I haven't watched Spy Family yet either, because as much as people say it's good, small child, not my thing.
That's fair. I'm shocked Spy Family got so much attention.
After seeing your, I am not.
I guess I don't know. It's like because I read the manga and then I was like, oh, anime getting announced, awesome, it's gonna be great. Some people are gonna like it. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then it blew up, and I was like, what happened? I don't what? It wasn't that good. I enjoyed it. That was
Right.
interesting, but like, it shouldn't be this big.
I'm trying to think like what else aired during Spy Family because like if nothing else aired that was notable, I could see it. I guess because
Mm,
that was definitely between Attack on Titan seasons.
mm-hmm.
Uh, let's see, Spy Family.
Okay. I can kind of see why.
Hmm.
A lot of it's just rom-com, slice of life stuff.
Yep, that'll do it. Like
Yeah, it
some of
just.
the weirdest things will get picked up in a season that's slow that just takes off. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
that makes sense.
granted, didn't your boy Kong Ming win like a lot of freaking awards during the Crunchyroll Awards that year?
It.
It's
I know it was on there a lot, especially for the song, like best
yeah.
song. Which is funny because I just find that song to be funny.
I listened to the song and I was like, I listened to the original version of the song. I like the original version better than I like the anime version.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a fun song. The anime
Yeah, it's
version one, it's
catchy.
a little too much for me, I guess. A little too,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call it? Produced. So, yeah, nothing really came out that season. Uh, that makes it makes a lot of sense. I mean, its competition was Shield Hero season, so yeah,
R.I.P. Shield Hero. It started off so well, and then it just became generic.
it was actually a an isekai that I in the first two episodes I really enjoyed, and then I
Mm-hmm.
stopped enjoying it really quickly.
Yep.
It's very sad. He was like, "Oh, this is the isekai that will change my opinion on isekai." Never mind.
Never mind.
Not at all. Uh, I mean, Kaguya-sama also got like decently popular, but like,
Yeah, but not as big as
yeah.
Spy Family. Sadly, I like Kaguya-sama. It's a funny show.
I one day will watch it. I just don't know when because it kind of hinges on the romance thing that I hate the most, and like it kind of pokes fun at it. I think from what I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
but it still does the thing I hate because my biggest pet peeve with romance series is when I'm watching 12, 13, 24 episodes, whatever it is, and the romance is they finally held hands on the last episode and then end of series. And Kaguya-sama's its entire thing is it's going to end when one of them finally lose the war and one of them confesses, and I'm like, no. Just why? Like I want to just because it seems like a funny concept, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, you're really gonna do this to me. You're really gonna like fuck with me like this hard where it's just gonna end on the final romantic scene, the actual romantic scene.
Yeah, I also dislike that a lot. I like it when they actually get together like halfway through, so I can see them
Mm-hmm.
be together for a bit at least.
Yeah. Because like there's a lot more that goes into romance past the actual dating aspect of it. Like there's more things to explore. There's more dynamics to explore there. Like the romance doesn't end when you finally confess your feelings. The
Mm-hmm.
romance ends when either you die or y'all break up.
Yep.
Let's be honest. So, uh, yeah, I avoid a lot of romance series simply because of that because I can't. Most of
That's
them are that.
understandable.
Yeah, but I'm also full on just a shonen horror. Like if it's action shonen, seinen, battle shonens, like fighting anime, That's my bread and butter. That's 90% of the things I watch. So
I relatable. If it gets my blood pumping, I'm in there.
yeah. Like, have you seen Made in Abyss yet?
Oh, God. Is that the English name for it? I feel like. Okay, no, I have not seen that.
I highly suggest this one. Like, it's a fantasy adventure kind of thing, very, very, very dark though.
Hmm.
But it's one of those that like initially doesn't present itself as being dark, but it gets fucking dark. Um, I say give the first season a try. I think the first season's like 12 episodes. The only thing that's confusing about it is it's, I believe, a season, then a movie, then a season. Hold on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
not bad.
yeah, so there's a season, and then there is movies. Only one of the movies is actually the one you need to watch because the other ones are just kind of retellings of the season, and then there's another season, I believe, and then I think there's another movie. It's
Hmm.
complicated for the watch order because they're doing the whole like, is it 2 seasons and I don't know. You'd have to like double check that, check
Yeah.
my credentials on that one, but yeah, it's so fucking good. I'm waiting for the next either season or movie that they release for it.
Oh,
I,
it's still ongoing.
I believe so because the last thing I watched, there's no way that's the end of it. So
Oh, okay, okay.
it's
I'll put that on my watch list then.
yeah, and considering it looks like small children and I highly vouch for it, says a lot because
True.
as I said, small children, not me, but I mean they're like I think teenagers. They just look like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been really fucking good, been really fucking dark, and I don't think it gets enough praise for like the people that have watched it do praise it a lot, but like there's a lot of people that refuse to watch it because it's controversial. We love controversies in in anime because people get triggered by everything these days. Um,
Hmm.
But there's essentially, without spoiling, I won't spoil anything for it. There's a scene where one of the characters gets sick, um, and like she's sick, so they're having to like, of course, like change her clothes because she's like pissing herself and vomiting all over herself and everything.
Hmm.
And they don't show anything, but they're very clearly like emphasizing like this is how bad off she is. She's shitting herself. She's pissing herself. You have to go clean your clothes. And people are like, "Oh, why are you sexualizing a small child?" And I'm like,
Like what?
"I'm sorry, what?"
She's sick. They're taking care of her.
Yeah, like, why are you making it dirty?
Like
You got
you're the
something.
one making it weird.
You got something you need to own up to. You got
Like
like. I think if you look at that scene and you see something wrong with it in that matter, then I think the problem is in your brain, not with the
yeah,
anime.
that's just a you problem.
Yeah, but it got a lot of like traction with that, where people are like, "Yeah, no, it's a bad series." It's not. So some of the people that were praising it have stopped because they get attacked on Twitter for doing it.
Ah,
It's stupid.
I love Twitter. It's so cool.
Oh yeah,
Attack people for no reason.
the hub of positivity over there.
Hmm.
What about this current season, or I guess past season that just ended? Anything you watched out of it, or did you keep up with like new currently airing stuff? Or are you more like you just watch things that have finished already?
I try to keep up with things that are like new.
Mm-hmm.
Like last season, I'm still watching. I'm still watching Frieren
Mm-hmm.
Beyond Journey's End. That's been a lot of fun.
Okay.
What else came out last season?
Undead Unluck, Shangri-La. Frontier Apothecary Diaries, the Doctor Stone season.
Oh, Doctor Stone. I need to watch that actually.
Oh, it's been so fucking good.
Not
That's
not
one.
not New World Part Two. I already watched. I need to watch New World Part Two. I already watched New World.
Okay, okay. It's been really fucking good. I watched it as it was airing. Um, Tokyo Revengers, Kingdom of Ruin. Ragna Crimson was one I wanted to check out, but I haven't gotten to because it's on High Dive, and I don't currently have my High Dive account.
That is an interesting one.
Uh,
Is all I will say really because it's weird.
yeah, it looks like from the trailer alone, it looked really fucking good. But that's going off purely off the trailer. They're gonna show you the good bits there, hopefully. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing that kills me is that I think it did the 1 hour first episode thing, and I'm hating that they're getting on that trend because you can't bait me into watching 2 episodes in one. I'm still gonna do my 3 episode try. This is 2 episodes. You get 2 episodes now. I got tricked with that shit with Oshinoko, and I'm still upset about it. Like, you gotta give it the 3 episode try. I'm like, I watched the first episode, and it was an hour and a half. That's 3 episodes. They're like, no, it gets better after first episode. And I'm like, nope. It got worse in the first episode. No, thank you.
I tried watching that. I got bored after a bit.
I dropped it 3 times
Oh my
because
god.
I watched part of it, and then I was like, nope, this is not for me. And they're like, oh no, it gets so good. You have to get like further into it. It makes sense after a while. I'm like, okay, and I got to it, and then it got to a really gross scene that was like a baby spitting up breast milk, and I was like, nope, I'm done. That's gross. Anti-baby fever kicking in. Dropped it, and then they're like, no, you got to get to the end of the episode. That's where the good part happens. And I'm like, okay, I got to the end of the episode. I'm like, worst freaking part of the episode. Great. Still bad. Still hate it. Great. I'm suffering through even more of this. And they're like, oh, no, you got to watch the next episode. I'm like, we're not doing this anymore. Oh, learned my lesson. Can't keep tricking me like this. I'm done. So, so
yeah,
when
that series overhyped.
Yeah. When I say there are legitimately only 3 anime that I think are legitimately actually bad and have no reason to exist, Oshinoko is one of them. And
that's fair.
Makes a lot of people angry. So.
Which is wild, because I don't know. A lot of people hyped that up, and I watched a bit of it. I read a bit of it too, because I got bored of watching it, so I just started reading it to go faster. And I was like, wow, this is just not interesting at all.
Yeah. Well, I started after watching the first episode, I started getting YouTube recommendations for like people covering it. I clicked on a video of somebody that was actually like shitting on it. Like they read the manga and they're like, people keep praising this manga because it's about to get an anime adaptation and this shit's fucking horrible. And here's why. And they started like going through some shit that happens later in the manga, and I'm like, you know what? I agree with them. I wouldn't want to watch this shit either. Hold on. None of this shit makes sense. So, and I had recently learned apparently it's the same person who did Kaguya-sama or something, or they have something in common.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, man, now I'm even more nervous to watch Kaguya.
Kaguya isn't weird like that, thankfully.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much to not be a 30-year-old man trapped in the baby body of the child of the person you are simping after.
Very true.
You just have to not be that, and you're already doing way better. So.
Yeah. What a crazy premise.
Yeah. For me, the whole adult reincarnated into a baby body is already kind of weird. Like, I'm not somebody, and I've talked about this before on the podcast and even on my streams. I'm not one to shame somebody for their there are likes and dislikes in anime. Anime is weird. There's a lot of weird shit in it. People are gonna like things. I like Redo of Healer. A lot of people fucking hate it. I'm not gonna shame somebody for liking somebody. I'm gonna say it's weird, but you do you, buddy. And there's been this like huge movement for people who are like anti-lolly, like, no, it's 1,000-year-old elf in a, but she looks young, and I'm like, newsflash, everybody in anime does not look their age. Does not, like, not defending it or anything, but like, to be fair, by anime standards, most characters that are of age don't look like they're of age, and most people that do look of age generally aren't. Look at JoJo's; those do not look like 16-year-olds.
Nope.
So it's such an odd battle to fight when, yes, there are creeps that do it weird, but how they jump onto that argument so fast, but they're so quick to be like, yeah, we have this show called Mushoku Tensei where it's like a 30-year-old man reincarnated into a child's body and he does stuff with other children. But he's in a child's body, so it's fine. But like, still 30 years old, man. Still 30 years old.
Yep.
And I'm not hating on it for that. I hate on it for many other reasons, mostly for being an isekai. But
Very dull isekai.
yeah, but for like you to like pick one fight and not pick the other is weird to me. Like, you do you? I don't fucking care. I do whatever you want, but you gotta fight both. If you're gonna fight one, fight the other too, because they're both equally weird. It's such a common thing in isekais.
Yeah, I just don't try to argue with anyone about that kind of shit. It's like, did you hate it for this specific reason? All right, whatever then. I don't care.
Yeah.
Did you hate it because you thought it was bad? Because you thought the magic was boring? Because you thought the characters were boring? That's all right. Fair. I understand that.
See, I like a good argument because I like opening up a good debate, and that's the best way to get it. And it's also, for someone that dislikes a lot of things, I like to hear people's actual explanations of why they do like something that I dislike, because they might change my opinion on it. A lot of times it does. A lot of times I'll kind of I'm like, oh, you know, you're right. You have a point on that. Doesn't change the fact that I dislike it, but you're right. It does have this good quality to it. Or vice versa. They explain why something's bad. Like, people explain to me why they don't like Redo of Healer, and I actually enjoyed it. I'm like, yeah, you know, I understand why people don't like it. Still love it. Still probably gonna buy it if I ever find a DVD copy of it. But, you know, I 100% understand why people don't. Like, I like debating. It's fun.
Yeah, I think it was a good debate with like actual points and not just people complaining about dumb shit. It's like, yeah.
For me, it's like, if you have a good point, I'll give it to you. And you have to be able to, like, you don't even have to present your point well, but if I understand where you're coming from, it's fine. And also, if you only have one point and it doesn't work, you can't get mad that your one argument for why this anime is great doesn't work. Like, you gotta have, like, if you want to claim that this is the best anime of all times, you gotta have some list of reasons for why this is the case. You can't just be like, oh yeah, it has great animation. Yeah, but what about everything else?
You great animation that you can't come out with that.
No. And then there's also like the people there, they'll just name the big triggers, like, you know, it has good animation and great characters and great story, and I'm like, oh, give me an example, and they're like, it just does, and I'm like, does it, or do you just know that those are good arguments?
You're just saying things that sound good.
So, it's frustrating. It's hard in this day and age to have a good anime conversation. Like, there's a couple people that have said that, like, the anime debate and the anime conversation has died 6 years ago, and I'm starting to agree with it. I'm so desperate to, like, not let it die. I am so desperate to, like, keep that conversation going, because the minute, like, the conversation about a fandom, not a fandom, but like a franchise dies is the minute the franchise dies. Like, if you
Yep.
don't have a good way to be objective and talk about a franchise, then you don't have a good franchise. That's why I shit on Pokemon fans a lot, because Pokemon fans don't have a good debate on what's a good franchise. There's more.
Sadly, it's true.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
your franchise is built on nostalgia and nostalgia alone.
realistically, our franchise isn't even like built on the anime anymore. It's literally everyone only talks about the games and they complain about, oh, this game is better, this one's better. It's like, bruh, all the games are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if anything, they've progressively gotten worse.
I'll agree with that. Like, I we mentioned this before the podcast, but like there are people that still play League when there are better options,
Mm-hmm.
and we're friends with them, and we tolerate them, and we accept that they play
You
shitty
acknowledge their
games.
existence, yeah.
Yeah, we poke fun at them a little bit because they could be playing something else, but it's all in good fun. It's not anything malicious.
Of course.
But then there's me, and there's a little game that recently came out called Lethal Company, and um, I'm not nice about Lethal Company. I'm probably more mean about Lethal Company than I am about Pokemon, which is kind of rough.
That's wild.
It's just I, I have some personal stuff into it, which I won't go into it, but for the non-personal matter, I have watched streams of this game, and I cannot sit through the streams because the audio quality of the in-game chat is so bad that I can't tell who's talking, what they're
Mm-hmm.
saying, what the conversation is. Like, all I've gathered is like it's very hard to differentiate a lot of objects in this game and a lot of walls, and it's like there's these little bug creatures. I've never seen anybody actually die to these bug creatures, so I don't know how hard they are to actually like avoid, because
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be pretty decently easy to avoid. You go in, you grab some bottles, and you walk out, and then you turn them in for money, and you go back in and you grab a pitcher, and you go out and you turn it in for money, and I'm like, you know,
I, I I will say it's very different playing the game rather than just
mm-hmm,
watching it.
that's
Because I
fair.
played a lot of the game. Like
Okay.
how many hours do I have in this game
Oh
now?
no.
Like let me tell you. If my friends are like, hey, you want to play Lethal Company? I'm like, yeah, I'm in there.
That's fair.
And they've been doing that a lot. I have
Yeah.
81 hours in the game.
I
I
have had so many people ask me to play this game with them, and I'm just like, if I can't enjoy watching it, I just feel like I don't want to stream it. Because I don't
mm-hmm.
enjoy watching it, I feel like it's not good content for me. But also, I get really hung up on bad audio. I cannot sit in a stream where somebody has a bad mic and I can't understand what they're saying, and then you're asking me to sit through an entire collab of the same quality. I have delicate ears. Don't do this to me. Hey.
I don't think it's better like in game, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not as bad if you hear when you hear over stream.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just it was rough, and I'm a little overly harsh with it just because I keep getting pestered to play it. I've even had people offer to buy it for me because I don't own it, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no. Even if you buy it for me, I will not touch this game. Like, please ask me to collab any other game, and then a week later, hey, you play Lethal Company? I'd rather play League.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's I do get overly harsh with things, and it's mostly just because like I get tired of being pestered about something after a while. It's not
Uh,
necessarily being pestered by the same person, but I'm eventually just gonna take it out on the like 18th person that's asked me for the same stupid thing.
mm-hmm.
So like all the people that used to come into my chat and tell me, have you watched this long named isekai series, and I'm like, sounds like an isekai. I'm like, it is, but it's really good. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably shit.
The longer the name, the worse it is.
So, like, not trying to be exactly a bitch, but you don't understand how often I get those kind of things in my chat. So, you know, my bad, but also
you have to set the boundaries. Like this, like do not bring isekais around me. I just do
yeah.
not care.
Oh, I've got to the point where I just straight up stop taking anime recommendations. Like I I have a very strict rule of like I do not take open anime recommendations from anybody in chat anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust it. Like I'll take anime recommendations from very few people now, and unless it's for like a project or something. Like I do want to do like some anime swaps or something like that for like the podcast at some point, where I make somebody watch something, they make me watch something. That'd be different. But like for just general people coming to me on Twitter or in Twitch chat or anywhere in general and saying, "Hey, you should watch this anime. It's really good." I'm like, well, if it was on my plan to watch list, it's not anymore. Good job. I get petty with it.
That's a big thing. People just say it's really good. It's like, no, just say you liked it.
Yeah.
Tell me why you liked it, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. I mean, the next big one is, of course, like, everyone's shocked that I don't like JJK, and I'm like, because my whole thing is, like, long running shonens, but I didn't like first season. First season was boring. So, it's fine. I don't shit on people for liking it. I'll shit on people for liking Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia, but I won't shit on people for liking JJK. At least it's, I guess, pretty-ish. Sort of. I don't know. Good fights. I think they say it has good fights in season 2.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Like there's some argument they have for season 2. I don't remember what it was. I have tuned so much of that out. So my first
Man here is like that Mappa employees overworked, and it's
yeah
true. But that's really I hear.
yeah, and they already announced season 3 apparently for it. So
Yep.
they're not getting a break anytime soon.
Sadly.
Yeah. We do have a One Piece remake happening, so
Yeah.
and it's not Mappa, thankfully.
Thank God.
So, it's mildly concerning because it's Wit Studios, and Wit Studios is known for taking their dear sweet time making stuff, and we have already had our dear sweet time taken from One Piece. So I don't know. Like they produce good quality. They produce Mappa level quality essentially, but they don't do Mappa level speeds, which is great for the animators. For a 1,000-episode anime getting readapted, gonna be interesting. Now I'm curious where they're gonna stop. Like, how much of it are they going to readapt? Are they gonna catch up? Are we just gonna have like 2 One Piece animes up to the Wano arc, or are we gonna have like?
If they catch up, I will go ballistic. There's no way. Ain't no way I spent like months catching up to One Piece.
Only months.
Listen, listen. It took a while. In my defense, I watched One Piece as a kid, and then I was just like, oh, I like Naruto better. Mm-hmm. And then when I grew up, I realized, oh, no, I like One Piece better, and I just caught up.
Right. That's fair. I've gone back and like rewatched One Piece a few times because I'll do this thing where I'll get to a end of an arc and then I'll be almost caught up to the anime. So I'm like, okay, they're about to enter Zal, so like, okay, I'm going to go do something else. So they finish this arc, so I can binge watch the arc whenever it's done. Sometimes that's me going to watch another anime like Black Clover or catching up on Naruto, Boruto, or whatever that I have lined up. Sometimes it's, what if I just started One Piece from the beginning? I have done that at least 5 times in the past 6 years. Yeah, Zal, Whole Cake, Wano. I did it for Wano twice now. And then I did it during the Doflamingo arc. So yeah, 5 times this year. This past 6 years. So.
You
Um.
are local.
uh. So yeah, imagine having rewatched all of One Piece essentially 6 times, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna readapt it, uh, into 400 episodes."
Jesus.
Because
I can't imagine that.
I think that's about what it would be too. Is like, I've heard some people talk about it, and they're like, the amount of manga chapters that they have versus what other anime have had that many manga chapters or as adapted into an anime without filler. It would be about 400 episodes, which is insane considering we're in the thousands.
Yep.
But I also kind of worry about there being a Kai situation where Kai was a great thing in concept. I will never watch it again because that show was boring. Like, I mentioned this yesterday when we were doing the Toonami thing as well, because we had a very weird stage with Dragon Ball Z where on Toonami we had Dragon Ball Z aired, and then a few years later we had something called Dragon Ball Z Uncut aired. And then a few years later we had Dragon Ball Kai come out. So essentially they're like, well, what if we made it longer? And then they're like, yeah, what if we made it a lot shorter? Like, I feel like the Uncut was the better one because that's definitely the one I own on VHS. But like Kai, it felt like they cut a lot of the heart out because they cut a lot of the background characters having conversations while like Goku and them are in the time chamber thing or while they're fighting, and you kind of see what other characters are doing, and you gotta get character development on other characters, personalities of other characters. You kind of get that build up so where you care about more than just Goku.
Yeah.
And cutting all that out kind of hurt the series, in my opinion. And I don't want that to happen to One Piece.
I doubt it will, because that's One Piece. Like One Piece is about the other characters. It's not just Luffy.
That's true.
If anything, it's the least about Luffy.
That's true. I worry because remakes have always gone like one way or another for me. They've never been like just okay. Because like the Fruits Basket remake, amazing. The Rurouni Kenshin remake, amazing. The Trigun remake, amazing. Even though a lot of people fucking hated on it for some fucking reason.
Really, people hate on that series?
Yeah, people said they ruined Vash's character because he's less like happy-go-lucky, but like they don't realize that it's technically a prequel, so you know he would be less happy-go-lucky before he loses his memories. You know, that's kind of a core part of the ending of the original series. But yeah, so people hated on Trigun. I hate Brotherhood, so and I also am not the biggest fan of Hellsing Ultimate. Like I like parts of it, but I don't fully care for it altogether. Like their choices of soundtrack have kind of taken me out of a lot for Hellsing Ultimate because you can't have an entire city being massacred by zombies and have a boy band pop track playing in the background. It just doesn't work. You know?
That is a choice.
It was definitely a choice.
And then I never saw Hellsing, but
man, it's so fucking good. Like I highly suggest, of course, watching the original first, and then watching Ultimate. And it's purely like the original 13 episodes. All of that is essentially covered in the first 2 of Ultimate. And that's not really like it's kind of like the Ava movies, which I don't know if you watched those either. But like Ava, the first movie of Ava Rebuild, covers essentially most of the anime of the original anime, and then it differs from there. Hellsing Ultimate is kind of the same way, but it just had the 13 episodes has an anime only ending that was really popular at the time. but the soundtrack is so fucking good. The opening and ending for the original Hellsing series is so iconic, and it's kind of like a groovy jazz soundtrack for the opening and ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's dated, so a lot of the scenes that they play out, like long pans on a character just silently staring at something instead of like filled with dialogue and action and stuff like that. Stuff that's more common for like a 90s anime. So if you're okay with that, I would highly suggest that. But Hellsing Ultimate, beautifully done. Soundtrack massacred it, which is so
That's
unfortunate.
tragic.
Yeah. So I was so disappointed because I love vampire stuff, and that was that, and they added like a lot more like I don't want to say fan service to it, but I guess it is more like fan service because like it's of the more adult, gory anime side. So the original, of course, they didn't skirt around certain hand placements or like clothes getting ripped off and certain things. Like somebody gets riddled for bullet holes, their clothes
Mm-hmm.
are gonna get ripped as well, and
Yeah, of
you
course.
might see some stuff. But it was done in a serious manner. Where in Hellsing Ultimate, like, oh, she lifts up her shirt for a second to let something fall out, and then it's turned into a comedic scene of her like getting all embarrassed and like, oh no, somebody might have saw my underboob. How dare? Like, didn't need to play out that way. Like, kind of not fitting with the tone. That's just personal preference on that one, but I don't. I'm biased. I know.
Hey, nothing wrong being biased. Everyone's biased about something.
That's true. Uh, and to toot my own horn, at least I'm honest that I'm biased, because a lot of people don't say that they're biased, and they're like, no, it's an actual fact. Like, no, opinions are not facts.
True.
So, any other anime that you wanna bring up that like from your heyday of getting into anime or like are you currently watching?
Heyday. God, I think a big thing that like influenced my taste for anime, especially like even nowadays, was Prince of Tennis. I
Let's
like.
go. All right, you and I can be friends. We're good.
I remember watching that along with One Piece, Naruto,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff and other stuff. And I was like, wow, this is like I'm not a big sports guy, but this is awesome.
Yeah, Prince of Tennis was my first sports anime, and it's actually the reason I got into tennis when I was in school as well. I actually tried out for the tennis team just because of anime. It was great. I was horrible at it, but it was great. And that's something that's like never fully ended either because they like came out with the new Prince of Tennis and like they're still every now and
hmm
then will come out with like a special or a movie or something.
it's so sad because I want it to end. I want it to be done and just be
Mm-hmm.
like, here's the actual official anime. They keep going like, oh, here's another tournament. They're in America now,
Right.
and they gotta do this thing, that thing, and this. And it's like I get it, you know. You have a bunch of characters. They're all developing. They all got new moves. Yada yada yada. But like, can we move on from this? Can we do something else?
That was also like the first instance of because after like getting into Prince of Tennis, I got into other sports anime, of course. But you
hmm
remember? I don't remember who it was. I think it was the captain, Tezuka, maybe the one that wore the glasses that had the injured shoulder.
Yeah, the in.
Uh, that fucking destroyed the dinosaurs with one of his sets.
Oh yeah.
Where, where like it's a thing of like sports anime power scaling now. What
hmm
crazy animations can they give them? But when I think Prince of Tennis, it's either freaking main characters catchphrase yada yada does in or just fucking dinosaurs being obliterated by a giant tennis ball meteor from the sky.
When I think of Prince of Tennis, I think of that one match where his main character versus one of the yellow shirt guys, and he basically gets his senses taken away,
Oh
and then
my
he goes
god.
Super Saiyan, and I was like, "What the
Yeah,
hell
I
happened?
forgot about that. Oh my
Am I
god.
watching Dragon Ball or Prince of Tennis? What's going on?"
Man. I miss OG sports animes, to be honest. Like, Haikyuu's good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't do anything extra like that. And I think it's the extra stuff like that that makes it fun, because I don't like sports either. But
Hmm.
that makes it fun. Like, I can't watch a tennis match and freaking watch someone go Super Saiyan and watch somebody destroy an entire planet, but I can watch an anime and it does it.
Hmm.
Ugh.
I am. This is my personal bias. I love Haikyuu.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is missing that like over the topness, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just the characters, like the
Yeah.
way they're presented and how they all have like their own goals. Like every single one of them
Yeah.
is really I really connect with a lot of them. Even the side characters that break anytime, it's like wow, I feel for them when they lose.
I get it. Like, I'm not saying it's like I enjoy it. Like, the only one I would say I hate as a sports anime is I hated Blue Lock, but like
Hmm.
I did enjoy Haikyuu. It's just, of the ones that I enjoyed, I think it's probably below quite a few of them, because I have Prince of Tennis, probably my number one. Kuroko's Basket right below that.
That's a good one.
So, and then I like Slam Dunk as well, but I'm not finished with that one.
I didn't watch Slam Dunk.
Yeah, so I'm like I enjoy Haikyuu. I need to catch up on it. I am behind. I just don't know where I am at. Because I was watching it on Funimation, and then Funimation doesn't exist anymore,
All
and
right.
it's been a couple years, so I'm like, well, I forgot. So I gotta find it on Crunchyroll and figure out where the fuck I'm at. So that's always lovely. Um, yeah, no, man, Prince and Tennis. I almost forgot about that one.
I will never forget that. That was one of the very first things I saw when I like first got cable, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy. What are they doing here? Playing
Mm-hmm.
tennis? What the hell?"
Damn, wish I was athletic. I'd do that shit too. No, I mean, I'm trying to think if there was actually a bad anime that aired on Toonami, and I can't. Like, I just went through all of them like yesterday, and I'm like, I don't think there were any on there that I didn't watch and didn't enjoy, because I guess Sailor Moon I didn't really like.
Hmm.
Too girly for my taste. I did like Cardcaptor Sakura for the short amount of it, but that one was also edited to be more shonen demographic for some reason in the dub. They're like
Yeah,
they're like anime about a small girl with small girl friends. Definitely gonna be targeted to boys to watch. Perfect. But I did watch that one. There's also Bakugan Battle Brawlers. That was a little later though.
that was fun. That was a fun show.
Yeah, I want to go and watch all of it, because I don't know. I guess I'd have to start from the beginning, because I don't even know if I watched what all was airing.
I know
Uh,
I watched all the first one. I didn't see the second.
I'll occasionally get them on like my anime quiz, music quiz, and I'll see like characters, and I'm like, yep, I don't know these characters, so I know I haven't watched this season. Um, what else was on there? The OG Voltron, I know. Of course, Inuyasha. That was a tuna, Adult Swim one, but Inuyasha's always like a staple for that time period.
Yeah, another great one.
Mm-hmm.
One I want to watch the I guess the child version of, whereas like Inuyasha's daughter and
It was actually really fucking good. So,
was it?
like it wasn't of course, Inuyasha level of good. But it also didn't have all the filler that Inuyasha had in it, so it's kind of like quick to get through. It's like I think it's like 2 seasons. But it was really cool to kind of like, I guess the same thing for like Boruto, kind of see where your favorite characters are at and what their kids are like. Of course, you get more than just Inuyasha and Shishomaru's kids. You get Sango and Moroku's kids, and you get to see what Kohaku's up to now that he's no longer possessed by a Naraku and shit. So you get to see what Shippo's doing. That shit was wild.
I should watch that then. I gotta figure out where I am now. That's something I started, and I was like, I was gonna watch it every week, and then I just fell off, and it was over.
Fair. I waited it till it was done, because I didn't know if I would like it or not, because like Naruto I was a big fan of, and I knew, like, again, I went into that one thinking I wasn't going to like it as much, but Inuyasha is such a huge nostalgia for me, like even more so than Naruto. And I'm gonna be harsh, it's gonna happen, and they're gonna like do something I don't like, and this is gonna be the worst anime of all time, and didn't do any of that, so
That's good to hear.
yeah. Definitely worth it. Of course, OG Trigun. Oh my god, they started airing Dead Man Wonderland on Toonami? When the fuck
That's a
did
series people keep telling me to watch.
It was good. It ends very abruptly, so like it would very much probably be one that's just worth the read. If I read manga, I'd probably have read the manga, but
Yeah, that's why I hear the anime ending was different from the manga. Like,
yeah.
at that point, I might as well just read it.
I don't even know if it gave like a different ending. It's just like it cuts off. Like they introduce a whole new character and plot, and then it's just like
Okay.
end of episode. And I'm like, oh, but I
Okay,
kind
so
of like this character that just got introduced. What do you mean?
so they just didn't have a season 2. That is tragic.
There was apparently like some specials that came out that followed it, but I didn't watch any of those, so probably should. Did you ever watch one called Samurai 7?
Right, 7. I almost got confused with something else called like Brave 10. That's not the same thing.
No,
Two
no.
different people.
Very different.
No, I have
No.
not seen that.
I had gotten on a whole like samurai kick after Rurouni Kenshin and like Samurai Champloo, and I don't know if this one aired anywhere. Necessarily, if it, I know it must have. It must have been like Sci-Fi Channel or something, because I definitely saw some of it on TV. But it's like that classic tale of the 7 samurai that go up against the shogunate in defense of a small rice village or something. It's like an old Japanese black and white film. But the same concept, except the like shogunate are Gundams, I guess. Mechas. All the samurai, like in this time period, naturally, like all the samurai have gone and started working for the government back in the day, and samurai are kind of like outlawed. You're not supposed to like carry swords and stuff like that. But of course, in this anime, all the samurai have given up their bodies to become mechas instead. And you have 7 samurai who get recruited to defend this rice village against this power that now has all these mecha samurais fighting against them, and it's so bizarre, but it actually works in a way. And a lot of the characters are like really cool and very diverse, I guess, because you have your cool like studious elder samurai, and you have your young badass who's you know and then you have your young ones that are just like, yeah, I'm kind of a samurai for fun kind of thing. So it's interesting.
Great. I'm gonna have to watch that then. You had me in Mecha Samurai. What the hell?
It's so different from like every other samurai show I had watched at the time, because of course, like I also did like ninja shows like Ninja Scroll or Basilisk and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
that shit was fucking cool when I was a teenager, and it's still fucking cool now that I'm 30. But yeah, it's just so out there, and there's like no better way to describe it other than that. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I know I watched a lot of stuff on the Sci-Fi Channel because, like, I know Gurren Lagann appeared on there, and that's where I got into that one.
I recently like watched that like about a year ago, 2 years ago now, probably.
Yeah. What do you think?
It was great. I loved it.
Nice. Did you go into it with the spoiler, or did you go into it blind?
I knew about the spoiler.
Okay. Most people do. Like, that was the first big anime where you just could not avoid the major spoiler of the series, which was unfortunate. Like, because I don't think knowing the spoiler hurts too terribly much because it's so early in the series and it's kind of like cool it happens, but it's more the impact that it has on the story than it is the event itself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But and a lot
It's
of
still
people don't realize it.
surprising.
Yeah, a lot of people just like they're like, oh well, I already know this happens. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm like, no, 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 no.
There is still so much.
There is. It is in my top 5 anime of all time, so it's like very close to home for me. Like, it's even my second tattoo I've gotten. I have the flag tattooed on my upper back because it's like it has such a good positive message all the way through this fucking series too. It's like just it's just empowerment the fucking anime.
Yep.
I loved it. So
It'd probably be like in my top mecha anime, which is very hard to get into. I'm very strict when it comes to mechs. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I don't like mechs that much or I like them a lot that I need to be like enamored with them to actually like enjoy the anime, but usually if you show me a mech anime, I'm like, eh.
which
That's
ones
like
have
really
you
hits home.
which ones have you watched that you've enjoyed?
I've enjoyed. Oh god. Like a few of the Gundam ones come to mind immediately.
Okay.
I like Gundam. I like OG Voltron was cool. I also like the I shouldn't say recent one, but like the most recent Gundam was also really
Which
interesting.
one? Which from Mercury or Iron Blooded Orphans?
I mean, I said Voltron.
Oh, Voltron. I thought she said Gundam.
Uh, but I have watched Gundam Iron Blood Orphans with the boys
Yeah.
time to time. That's been really cool. I need to watch that fully. Because
Yeah.
I want to call it like bits and pieces here and there.
I fully support someone watching that fully because there's always like one question I have about that series that I have to ask everybody. So when you do fully rewatch Iron Blooded Orphans, let me know because I have concerns over. I've asked so many people about a certain aspect of the show, and every fucking time I get a different response, and I'm just like, maybe it's just me. Okay, so I'm desperate to find somebody else that thought the same thing. So, anyways, continue. What other mecha? Code
What
Geass?
else? No, that's a show I need to watch.
Okay.
That has been on my watch list for a long time. But it's so weird to watch that show because it's like I know so many spoilers. I just know so
Yeah.
many things, and it's like, do I want to sit down?
I feel like things are pretty bad now with spoilers in anime, but I feel like there's that a time period of like the mid late 2000s, like 2006 to like 2011, where literally no one gave a shit about spoiling everything because anything that came out around that time, you don't go into it blind. You know everything that's gonna happen. So, yeah, Gurren Lagann was around that time as well. And I think that's also when the big thing for One Piece happens. That
Oh my god.
that almost made me drop all of One Piece, by the way, because I wasn't there yet, and it got spoiled for me, and I'm like, yup, you did that to my favorite character. I'm out. Bye. Never mind. I don't want to watch it no more.
I guess Attack on Titan, my favorite mecha anime.
My God, no.
that,
uh,
that was my favorite thing someone said. It was just flesh mecha. I was like, oh, no, what is
man,
this? What is this image you put in my head?
I hate it. I hate it so much, man. Because it's the same concept of like saying babies are mech pilots to the mom, and I'm like, yeah, that's gross.
What
No,
the
thank you.
hell? I hear that before. That is weird.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that was pregnant, and she referred to her baby as her pilot, and I was like, oh, please stop. I actually do really like mecha series, and you're ruining it for me so hard right now.
Listen, I've done nothing.
No,
I'm just
you're
here.
good. You're good. She just did it. Um, she's also the mother of my godchild too, so I've told her she's not allowed to die until the baby reaches at least teenager because I am not taking care of a baby. Excuse. All right. Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half. I think we could cut it off here unless you have any final things you want to talk about.
uh, nothing really comes to mind. Just that, at the end of the day, like what you like.
Exactly. 100%. Where can they find you if they want to find you after listening to this and talk about your anime
Oh,
taste and shit? Roast you and poke fun at you for liking isekais.
oh God. Don't find me at twitch.tv/EldenVagabond.com. Don't look for me there.
Totally gonna link it on the screen and in the description for everyone to
No,
find.
don't do that. Don't also look for me there on my Twitter, which is the exact same name, Elden Vagabond. But don't look for me there because I don't do anything.
Yep. It's gonna be down in the description as well. Don't worry, y'all can find them. I got y'all.
Oh God.
And if you want to find me, I'm right Cyan Kincaid on Twitch and Twitter. And if you want to find any updates regarding this podcast, go to our Twitter page or X page, I guess. Not a porn page, the actual X Twitter page. RiceCon podcast on Twitter, where you can find updates regarding this podcast, and Digimon Conflict, the side podcast I run with a few others, one of which being Vega's friends. And if you want to listen to this on another platform, this is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, whatever the good stuff is, and let us know what you thought. Give us your opinions on anime, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.
Bye.